Welcome, everybody. You have tuned into a new episode of TKK Exclusive. That is when your host, DJ ECP, highlights the most interesting stories in our communities, and we share it with our listeners. So today, joining us on air is Terry D. Owens. He is the host of the High Impact Podcast, and he is on a mission to let everyone know that he's got an agenda. He's got a mission out. So welcome to the show, Terry. Thanks for
Yes,
coming.
ma'am. Thank you for having me.
Yes, this connection is fabulous this time. So
Yes.
um thanks again for coming onto the show. I know we got a pretty serious topic today. So you again, let's start from the beginning. You are the host of the High Impact podcast. And let's start from there. What made you start a podcast?
Well, after you've been a little bit informed about what this is all about and why this is incredibly important to LA and the LA sports people and the one who pays the bills out there, this involves Stan Kroenke, the Los Angeles Rams, and a bank scam that he's been involved in for about 25 years, where through a simple open records request that I did in a lawsuit back in 2013, I found out later on that Stan Kroenke is involved in the single largest criminal monopoly probably in the world, and why nobody has ever heard about it and those involved in it don't want me talking about it is because it's ran by the state of Missouri and the federal government in opposition to all laws, all rules, all regulations. The entire state of Missouri is involved in this scam for 50 long consecutive years. And it,
Wow.
pardon me, go ahead.
Wow. No, that's incredible. So you're in a full on news war. You're letting our communities know and you're letting people know through this podcast. Now, how did you uncover this? How did you start to uncover all this information? Because this is an incredible story.
Yes, ma'am. And I think you have a background in the mortgage business, and this will dovetail right into that. After I had applied for a what I thought was a legitimate credit card at a legitimate bank called Boone County National Bank in this little town of Booneville, Missouri, and after it got stolen out of my farmhouse, and I audited all three of my credit files, and it never showed the name of the bank that I got it through, and it showed two other banks, which made no sense. And in 2013, when I first did the first discovery, I guess you could say, to find out who these entities, alleged entities, were, the attorney that worked for the Secretary of State wrote me back and replied to that Missouri Sunshine Law request. And this is what is so shocking. The two names that's in everybody's credit files all over the place are Central Trust Bank and Central Bank, and are not incorporated banks in the story. And Stan Kroenke and this outfit called Missouri Central Banks, what is commonly referred to, have no incorporated bank entity whatsoever for 50 years. And that means they've been bringing in money under false pretenses. There is no business licenses issued to these alleged banks anywhere in the state of Missouri, Illinois, Kansas, Oklahoma, Colorado, and Florida. And so, how could they pull this off? Beats the snot out of me. But Stan Kroenke was brought in this scheme prior to signing the contract in 1995 with the LA Rams back at that point. And he utilized his position and invested in this, which is illegal as can be, and used stolen, extorted money to purchase the Rams NFL football team and he's been at it ever since. And this was put in front of the authorities, the federal judge, St. Louis Sheriff Betts, and they threatened us to shut up about it. That's how big of a scam this is. And so it obviously involves the entire state of Missouri and the entire federal government and the FDIC and even more.
That's incredible.
Yes.
How do you fight back? I mean, where do you even start once you unveil this information and you're looking like, wow, this is a lot deeper than I thought this was going to be.
Yes, ma'am. Well, we never knew it was this deep. Me and a partner, we sued. My first initial lawsuit, you've been to my podcast, you've probably seen my one video, that in 2014, when I filed a Fair Credit Reporting Act complaint in federal court in Springfield, Missouri, I had no idea about any of this. And then I found out in about midway of 2023 that that judge that was assigned to my case was dead as a hammer in a compost pile 10 months on the day I filed. The guy was dead.
Deceased.
Deceased. Yeah.
Wow. I
Okay, that's a first in probably worldwide history.
That sounds like an inside job.
I would think so. Yes, ma'am.
That's incredible. So
Yes.
what do you
And
do?
so,
How do you go about knowing that you're assigned to a dead judge?
yeah, well, you wouldn't know. And so they issued a transfer order about midway between 2014 and 2015 and assigned a live judge this time, federal judge Douglas Harpole.
Sounds fair.
And obviously he knew all about it. All the court clerks knew about it. And what's amazing, this scam had been going on in Missouri for 25 to 35 years at that point. Nobody in the history of the scam has ever sued them.
Mm.
I was the first guy. And so they have been literally blocking, which is the opposite of their duties. When you come into federal or state court, they I'm talking about are the state and federal judges. They have been blocking the lawsuits. So you might as well have a gun put to your head and say, run off.
Right. Now, my father, he's very like old school. If he has an issue, like he'll go directly to that building and try to sort things out. Now, you had actually tried doing that at
Yes.
some point. And tell us what happened.
Okay. Well, we went back in. I filed a motion to vacate because the judgment was, and that last order was issued under false pretenses, obviously. I mean, you got a dead judge starting a case. All right. So give me a break. So in 2019, after through an unrelated meeting, a guy overheard me talking about this and he just looked at me. He goes, "Come on, man. Nobody's going to put fake names on credit cards. They'd be arrested in a heartbeat." Come to find out he had one of them. He brought it to my attention and I had to train him for about 2 years. And then we went back into federal court together. I filed a motion to vacate, 2 RICO lawsuits, 2 RICO case statements attached to it, and about 4 inches of evidence all attached. And I mean, we had everything won. I had no idea the extent and how well entrenched this criminal empire really is. And so they did the same thing again in federal court. Now, the dead judge wasn't going to work, okay? But they just simply forged Judge Roseanne Ketchmark, another federal judge. They just took her stamp and made up phony orders and all bribed. And it went up to the appeals court in early 2021 without no jurisdiction. And the appellate court clerk, Michael Gans, with no jurisdiction whatsoever, no final orders, no judgment, no certification. I went ahead and played along with the scam. I knew it was going on. And this guy, this is the first in American history, made up 3 bogus rulings and mailed them to me and my partner, all under false pretenses, forged the appellate court judges' names on rulings they never did.
Wow, wow. This is so unbelievable.
Yes.
But at the same time, it is very believable. This stuff that's going on, it sounds like there is a long history behind this in Missouri. Like this is something that is like very unspoken that the townspeople know, and they're just going with it. What are you doing? I know you got a website here. Tell us more about this website because you have a lot of information. I love that you bring in facts. You have facts, you've got names, you have at this time, timestamps and everything. You've got all your receipts and you've done your due diligence. Tell us more about the website.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I appreciate you asking me that question. We're going to promote that. That's Rams Return, the number two, STL.com. And of course, in that website, it has a lot of the folks with their pictures and the documents, including the mayors and the cops who we've informed about this, are all the ones in the local level taking kickbacks and bribes. And this has been going on for decades. Now, what's amazing is that one mayor, he may be gone and he's out of his term, and another one comes in and he does the same thing and takes over. And so we walked into, myself and my younger brother, into countless central bank locations all over Missouri. Not a one of them has a business license. So that's in total disregard. It's illegal, as you can imagine, in the municipality where they operate. And that's against statute. It's against federal law. You can't even open a door to a dog pound, let alone a bank.
Right. The first thing that I want to do is when I see a company doing something wrong, I'm going to go straight to the Better Business Bureau.
Well, I'd go a lot further than that, but it's this is
I'm a
just
little bit of a Karen over here.
yeah, this is just an enormous scam. And of course, you've seen the Mick Campbell report where I hired a CPA and paid him out of my pocket out of Foxborough, Massachusetts, and through a open records in what is known as Paramatera with the state of Missouri and his state of Massachusetts. I had him inquire for everybody that the two names that this guy came forward, Mick Campbell, that said that don't exist, there's no records. Well, guess what? LA and St. Louis, those are the two names on every deed of trust, every loan credit card app issued for 50 years, and they don't exist.
Hmm.
That's it right there. That was all you would ever need. And you could actually take that. That's as good as gold. That's an open records under oath from the state archives.
Hmm.
These people are doing what the hell I just said they're doing.
Wow.
Okay.
You can find this all on the website too.
Yes, ma'am. Every bit of it. Very exclusive.
That's incredible. Now, what do you do for people that are listening? How do we prevent ourselves from being a victim of this central bank?
Yes. What they have to do, and it's so incredibly simple. And let's say for a moment they have the simplest to deal with at this point. Just take your credit card application, and any billing statements that you have, make copies of them and make a simple affidavit and go into the central bank, call the police. And if you got any guts at all, you ought to be pretty irritated and demand that this outfit be shut down and arrested. That is a counterfeited security.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm. Now, I remember we had talked before. I remember you mentioning that you had two balances that were identical. So if people pull their credit and do things like you, are they going to find multiple uh loans and balances just like yours?
Yeah, most likely they haven't changed. If they was to do an audit out of TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, and I don't care whether it's a home mortgage, maybe a little different, a credit card, but if you have a credit card, it's going to show two names. Central Bank, which don't exist, and Central Trust Bank, and it may show the Central Trust Bank. All three of those names are not incorporated bank names with the Missouri Division of Finance. Unbelievable.
Wow. Wow. That's incredible. And you're saying that Stan, who is the alleged owner of our Rams, they came to Los Angeles. So we're here in the heart of Los Angeles. I'm here in Little Lakewood, right next to Long Beach. Um, how is this? Are they gonna? Does that mean they're not gonna return to Missouri, or how's that gonna go? And how is Stan continually continually being involved with the Rams?
Right.
How is this happening?
Yeah, the guy's a psychomaniac, and everybody thinks he's smart and clever. He just has everybody covering his backside. He would have never got involved in this scam unless he knew he'd never be prosecuted. So he was brought in by the central bank people, the powers to be in Missouri, because they wanted it to grow. He invested in that, signed the illegal agreements, and that's a guilty plea. So he utilized people's stolen, extorted money to finance the purchase of that team, and it's still going on today. Now, the people out in LA need to know this, and so does the guy that owns the San Diego Chargers. Or I guess it's maybe the LA Chargers. I don't know. It's irrelevant for this discussion. But Stan Kroenke does not own that stadium nor the land, and that is so easily proved that that guy could hire any attorney, the dumbest attorney on the planet, can call me up, look through all the records, and go, yeah, sure enough, he's a bank imposter. He used extorted money, and anybody that contracted with him could be in big trouble, maybe or maybe not. But he doesn't own anything he touched.
Mm,
Guy's a loan sharker.
mm.
He's a criminal.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And
Wow.
all these people who have all these phony instruments are writing out a check and it's going right into Stan Kroenke's pocket indirectly. And they're pulling in hundreds of billions of dollars
And they have
every
no
year.
clue.
I have no clue how big it is, but we know it's a lot because we have all, oh my God, we have maybe 150,000 forged deeds of trust right here in my brother's farmhouse that we went and pulled out of the records.
Mm. So you have
County
actual
recorder of
records, you've
deeds.
got files, like I said, you got all your receipts.
Yes.
You have crossed your T's and dotted your I's,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
to
Three
speak.
times over and 10 times on Sunday.
And it's incredible that no one else has been able to speak up, or if it's not a shocker that people wouldn't speak up, because how do they fight back? Now when we have platforms like this that are independent, radio stations, podcast, it's easier to get that information out. But you know how has the FBI not you know traced this?
We were in their office in Springfield, Missouri, myself and my partner, with a 2-inch thick criminal complaint with all the felonies committed, plenty of exhibits, sat down with this kook, and he could have cared less. They already know all about it. They're just there to put on a little front for the people. So the FBI in Missouri, they're useless. They are the criminals, and don't think they're not for a moment. And so are most of the sheriffs. And that's why this state is, no doubt about it, at the bottom end of the rung when it comes to judiciary and law enforcement. They're the worst.
Mm, mm. And you were saying, Stan, this isn't his first rodeo. I mean, how many other businesses do you think that he's involved with? Because I know this guy, he owns the Denver Nuggets. He owns a hockey team. So he's got multiple money in different places. So how do we not know that those are illegal or shady
Oh,
activity?
they all are. Okay, when you read the Hobbs Act, It's very, very clear and very, very easy and very, very simple to get somebody indicted. It says in any way and in any degree. And so once you've got this money taken in under false pretenses, and you in any way, in any degree, continue to further that scam, he could not have walked across the street back in 1995 and bought used toilet paper.
Mm,
It's impossible.
mm. Wow. Wow.
So the folks out there, that guy that owns that that San Diego Chargers, when
Mm,
he gets a wind of this, his attorneys are going to blow a head gasket. Stan does not own that building, the land. I don't give a damn what anybody's got to say. And if they think I'm full of crap, come and sue me.
right.
Okay, Stan Kroenke, if you're listening in, Big Daddy, you know where I'm at, and you're going to get your butt spanked.
Mm. Wow. What do you think that the current status is on this investigation? I mean, it seems like you are the one that's taking the bulls by the horns and really digging deep and doing your forensics on this.
Yes, ma'am, it is. And I'll tell you, because of some of the smaller podcasts, we've been looking at the analytics on YouTube, and overnight, just one of my videos quadrupled in the amount of views in just one evening. So let's say it had 2,000 views, it may have went to 6 or 10,000 in one evening. So with the billboards up in St. Louis, it is starting to gain some momentum, and the people at the lower end, like the employees at the mayor's offices who made up all the phony business licenses and they mailed them to me to cover it up, they're the easiest ones to get. But I would just tell, hey, you are writing a check out to a bank that never was, and your homes, I would say nationwide, there's going to be close to 3 to possibly 8 million homes that are free right this minute. They
Mm,
have no duty to write out a check. They're
mm.
all void.
Wow.
So if you want your home free and clear, your Cadillac free and clear, your credit card crap free and clear, your student loan erased, all you got to do is take all those documents, fill out an affidavit, and pile into central bank, call the cops, and have them arrested. And keep doing it. And it's that simple. And
Mm.
they'll be overwhelmed.
Yes, that is incredible. And for the listeners just tuning in right now, we are with the host of the High Impact Podcast. He's letting us know about this scandal that's going on between Central Bank and the St. Louis Rams, which is now, over here in Los Angeles. So, what is that website again where people can go and learn more information about this and really get all the receipts that you have there?
Yes, ma'am. Go to Rams, return, it's the number 2, STL.com, and you're going to see more information there professionally done by a great web designer who we talk to every day. You're going to learn more there. And once you see that open record statement by Mick Campbell, for those that don't know, he is the head guy for the Missouri Division of Finance. He's the finance commissioner, and he's also the custodian of records. You could take that statement to a real bank and stomp this flat before you even get out of bed tomorrow.
Mm.
Your home is free and clear.
That would be worth doing a little nightly
Right,
reads.
right, right. In addition to that, there's the forensic audit done by CPA firm Ron Adams, where he looked into a handful of the forged deeds of trust. They're all forgeries. And he just took one of them and he made up his rulings, how he does things. And this guy, holy crap, if you ever get in trouble and you want him, he stomps banks and law firms, and he's done it for 40 years as a forensic auditor and a full blown CPA. And we got him on the website. And out of my own pocket, I have done this for everybody nationwide, and it costs $12,000 out of my pocket. Done deal.
Wow. 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 So this is incredible. If you are listening and you think that this sounds like something that's going on with your finances, I urge you to go onto this website, check this guy out, check you out on YouTube, because that's where you have your podcast, right?
Yes, ma'am. Go to highimpactpodcast.com and you're going to see some killer videos that I've done that nobody has ever tackled. And quite frankly, the common public has no clue they're doing this right in plain sight. They sign the agreements, it's already done. They could be arrested tomorrow morning.
Mm. Wow, wow. I urge any listeners to go onto this website. Check this out. Terry D. Owens is exposing Central Bank and this incredible scandal that ties into the Los Angeles Rams. Now, I have to ask, were you a Rams fan?
Actually, when Kurt Warner got to the big leagues and we saw him and Marshall Faulk and that incredible offense, I was hooked. Everybody in St. Louis was hooked on this guy and everything they were doing. And it's unbelievable that he came out of nowhere. Nobody believed that he could do this, and you can put me in the same category that I'm coming out of nowhere and I ain't taking no crap, and we're moving forward with this. And all these people have to do is do exactly what I say. It's so damn simple. Is
Mhm.
file a criminal complaint with an affidavit and take your documents. If you start doing that, they will be investigated, shut down, and Cronky will be incarcerated. And when they see what he's doing, now I'm not trying to get back onto the LA fans, but Stan never owned the team, whether he was there the first time or now the second time.
Mm.
So it's going to revert back legally to the people that had purchased that team with lawful money. It was not Stan Kroenke.
Mm. Wow, this is an incredible story. I wish that we could talk more, but we are running out of time. So please, before we go, please give the listeners all your information, how they can follow you, how they can contact you, and how, if they want to get involved, how they can get involved through your website. I mean, you have it, everything's there, and
Everything's
you've
there.
invested the money. So that's half the battle. I mean, you've got it right there. We need more people to stand and speak up. So, Terry, why don't you tell everyone where they can follow you?
Yes, ma'am. Well, first of all, I actually have a phone number. They can literally call me right now and leave me a message. That number is 660-888-2999. Pretty simple to remember, 660-888-2999. And go to my website, Rams Return, the number two, STL.com. You'll see my email in there. Buy some merchandise. I think you'll like it. Support us. I have invested, I'm going to say at this point, very close to $450,000 out of my pocket to continue this after including the time with the three lawsuits and that amount of money. And I would have never believed this myself, but just do what I'm telling you, folks. Just take these phony loan documents, they're all counterfeit. Right now, get off your butt and go do that. And you'll be involved in the largest money making class action suit in the history of the world
Wow.
right now. Big money.
That's incredible. I Everyone check him out. Terry D. Owens. He is the main host for the High Impact podcast. And he is here with us today. Now, I really appreciate you taking this time and just for your bravery on coming out and speaking about what happened to you and your willingness to help out the community and getting them involved and saying, hey, look, you can't just trust everything that comes right in front of your eyes.
Isn't that the truth? And all you have to do, folks, is look at the loan or the credit papers that where you signed your name. And those phony bank names are right there where you signed. It's over.
It's right there.
If you want to get rich, and I'm not kidding, and if you want your home free and clear and stop all these bills, do what the hell I'm telling you to do today.
Listen to Terry Owens. Well, thank you so much for doing this TKK exclusive. I really
Yep.
appreciate your time. And listeners, be sure to check out that website. It's Rams Return, the number two, STL.com. It's your host, DJ ECP, aka Elena Karis, bringing you another TKK exclusive from TKK Radio.